Mr. Bajaj, first your initial thoughts. What is the good news? What is the bad news? Where do you think budget has disappointed and where do you think this budget has disappointed?
Okay, so good news is that this is a budget that's big on ideas, 360-degree view of what the government is focusing on, and this is whether on infrastructure spends, building out a one connectivity network with a big focus on electric vehicles. If you look at what they want to do with education, skill development, recognizing the need to put in more liquidity into the system for NBFCs, a significant focus on MSMEs, on startups, the digital economy, on women entrepreneurs. So lots and lots of ideas, and I think it's great to see that at the start of a new five-year term. But the God is in the details, and really a lot of this is going to be about execution. But these are the big positives. On the negative, I would say that given the fact that the economy is in a period of slowdown, I would have liked to see an additional focus on a few key areas, namely how do we immediately create more jobs? How do we stimulate the existing economy, existing businesses? Because doing startups is great and is necessary, but that's going to be 3, 5, 10 years down the line. What do you do for today? What do you do immediately for labor reforms? So we are hearing about the 4 labor codes. Is there something that's more urgent that can be done on this? And really, how do we go ahead and ensure quick wins on the infrastructure side? So I think while a lot of ideas, and I'm sure we will see those panning out in coming years, but what's the immediate focus? This is required to make sure that we get this economy onto the 8% growth CAGR that is required to get to 5 trillion.
Would you say that in the near term, all the concerns with regard to liquidity in the system, the state of NBFCs, the fact that even if they could lend, they would not lend because of the confidence crisis right now in the system, and of course the state of HFCs as well, would you say that at least the near-term interim concerns have been addressed by the budget duly?
So let's separate out the current problems between liquidity problems and solvency problems. Those that have solvency problems need to bring in capital and resolve their solvency issues. Where it's a liquidity issue, in most cases, it was an issue of confidence in giving money to the NBFC sector. So yes, the measures that they have taken, and they're short-term measures, they've said for up to 6 months or so, the government will back public sector banks for their first loss up to 10%, and a few other initiatives. I would hope that in the short term it does take care of the problem, but we need a far more robust mechanism. We need I would say, for large NBFCs, we need the same kind of liquidity backstops that the RBI provides banks, and not to bail out any NBFC. That's not what we are asking. We are private sector, we can take care of ourselves. But NBFCs, the large NBFCs, are playing a very significant role in this economy, particularly towards consumer growth and MSME growth. And that's why structurally we need that support. So I hope we hear this from RBI in the coming months.
If I look at the challenge, one is slowdown, second is global tariff war, which is real, and third is somewhere India is not competitive, whether it is labor laws, land reforms, interest rates. Some would argue that, look, this is a good budget you've set up, $5 trillion, that's where India should move in terms of the right size and the demographic advantage. But the immediate concerns which will take us there, which is how do you fix your productivity and how do you make yourself competitive? I think that's not been addressed here.
So Nikunj, you're absolutely right. The 3 key things towards land, labor and interest rates. We need to see, and that's why, as I said, we need to see quick and clear focus on this if India is to really maximize on what's happening globally and the opportunity that India has to really create a made in India option to made in China for the world can only happen if these areas are immediately looked at and a clear roadmap set out. Of course, some of the things the government has to do, some RBI and other regulators have to do, but this concerted effort towards this is very important.
Sanjiv, great to have you with us today, and let's plan a longer interaction sometime soon.